Okay, I thought you might want to see me mushing these. It's a little bit stiffer than I normally use, but I just take all the trimmings. I might be able to get a couple of soap patties out of these. They would probably go together better if I moistened them a little bit. But then they would take longer to dry, right? I wish I were artistic and talented at sculpting, because if you get soap at the right consistency, boy, it's like modeling clay. Someone who's talented at doing modeling could make some really cool soap sculptures. As you can see, it's still a little dry, but it is getting workable. If I'd done this earlier in the day, it wouldn't have all those pieces falling off of it, for one thing, but it would be more like modeling clay. But even like this, see, you can work the pieces. Sometimes I'll take the end pieces and mush them up into patties instead of leaving them as skinny little end pieces. But this one is not cooperating. It can be, sometimes the consistency is almost kind of waxy, and then it doesn't like to stick to itself, and that's kind of why I'm getting pieces falling off. But it might be taking moisture from my hands or warmth from my hands, or I'm just working it enough that it's getting more malleable. But as you can see, again, I hope that's in the camera. Needs some more work, but you could do some cool sculpting things. And you can get some really interesting kind of marbly looking results when you've got soap with different colors. When I usually make this soap, of course, as I said, it's usually sparkly white with pink swirls going through it. So when you mush it into patties, sometimes it kind of makes it muddier, but sometimes it kind of, parts of it look sort of like marble, and it looks kind of cool. So that's soft enough. We can, I like to try to make them about the same size. I don't want to have one or two really nice size and one really tiny skinny. It would be better to have them as all roughly about the same. I'm not selling these, so I don't have to have, you know, all the certain weight or something like that. Let's try these end pieces. Mush them up. If you need to do exercises for your hands, this is a great exercise to do. And you get, you know, nice soap patties out of it too. Take your frustrations out on it. Just work it a little bit. Most soapers are a lot more artistic than I am, so I would imagine some people could come up with some really cool stuff. I'm more of a technician than an artist myself. This one's getting a little bit bigger. Pick up some of those gratings. A lot of people will do soap balls, but I have a problem with soap balls in the shower. You know, soap is so slippery. If you're trying to work up a lather and kind of do, you know, this motion in the shower, trying to work up a lather. It's too slippery, it doesn't work, so I mold them into patties or squish them into patties, and so it's more like, you know, this with a bar of soap. You get more traction. But first we make them round, and then we smoosh them into patties. I don't think I will stamp designs in the top with a cookie stamp. I don't think it's a good consistency for that today, so we'll just have plain patties. And really, I guess, sometimes I have problems. I like the look of them stamped, but you use a soap that's got a depression stamped in the middle, and the water collects in there and makes the soap softer, so it's probably better that I don't do it anyway. So we're going to get 3 pretty good sized soap patties out of this. Kind of work them until they're smooth and don't keep falling apart. Takes a few minutes. Like I said, a lot of times I will do this. I'll make soap at night, put it in a warm oven, get up the next morning and trim it, and then when you start working these soap patties, they're nice and mushable and soft, but this still works. I've tried to do this when it's thicker than this and waxy, and it didn't work well at all. They all feel the same to me. I don't know that they are the same. And I could get out my scales, I suppose. This one feels smaller. Don't want to waste these. What do you know, my cat, I was just going to say my cat got quiet and then he meowed. He was really pestering me earlier. I was gone all day, visiting relatives, having lunch, meeting my brother, my little brother's new dog, Maddie. She's such a sweetheart. Got down on the floor with her and she tried to French kiss me. I don't know why they always try to do that. Should learn to keep my mouth shut around dogs that are licking, I suppose. So I sort of rub them into a sort of a ball. Try to smush them and make it as smooth as possible. But it's, you know, it's done by hand. It's not going to be totally smooth. And then I just mush it, neaten up the edge a little bit, mush it down. Try to make it kind of round, work with it. My label is dragon soap. I wish I could sculpt dragons out of this. That would be cool, wouldn't it? But there is a soap patty, kind of rustic looking, but it, you know, it's easier to use in the shower than I think, than a soap ball. Do another one. I hope this is in the camera. I have a bad habit of doing a lot of action out of the camera. My first 2 videos I filmed, my first 2 soaps I made with a camera, I didn't even bother posting them because most of everything I did was, you could hear me yakking and that was about it. And, you know, that's no fun if you can't see what I'm doing. So, Soap patties. A good way to use up ends and trimmings and all kinds of things. And if you've got something like a cookie press, or I mean not a cookie press, but a cookie stamp or some other way to get a nice design in them, you can do it. I keep thinking it would be fun to do the cookie stamp and then put melt and pour in the indentation. But it's not something I've tried yet. I should do that. See, and then you get some of the color, like there's some of the pink that's really more mauve because the soap went tan instead of white, but it looks kind of, sort of like a rock. Kind of, sort of. Anyway, soap patties, soap bars, different than slices, and of course the decorative, fancy, dancy stuff. Thanks for watching. Have a good week, and hopefully I'll have another video next weekend.